What is good, y'all? Welcome back to Appreciate Greatness. Today I'm going to be predicting the 2023-2024 NBA awards. I hope y'all go on to enjoy this video. If you do, leave a like, subscribe, do y'all thing. If you don't leave too many of a comment. It'll hurt my feelings. We don't want that. Let's get right into this video. Also, new backdrop, obviously. We got two paintings of mine, a J. Cole 2014 Forest Hills Drive, and then a Basketball in Outer Space. Also the shelf with some books on it. I know there's Kobe, there's a Sprawl Ball, which is a great book. Y'all should read it if you want to learn more about the era of three-pointers that we live in. And then AI, a Jeff Van Gundy book, and Ray Allen. But yeah, let's get right into the video. So I'm going to do this video is I'm going to start with what I think are the least important awards and build up to, the Rookie of the Year, the DPOY, and the MVP. So we'll start at Coach of the Year. And at Coach of the Year, I have a shocking pick, a surprise the world pick. At number 1, I have Mark Daigneault of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And as y'all are going to soon realize in this video and even the next video I drop, which will be the standings prediction, I have the Thunder being a surprise team this year. I think they have all the tools. They have Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, Lou Dort, Chet coming back from injury, and obviously Shea, who averaged 31.4 points per game last year. I think Mark Daigneault runs this intricate offense. He has this team really bought in on the defensive side of the ball and has throughout the whole rebuild. Even when they hadn't had a consistent lineup, consistent role players, he had them bought in on defense. And I think Mark Daigneault and his Thunder are going to shock the world this year. That's why he's my number 1. At number 2, I have Michael, don't call me Mike Malone. And the reason for this is, coming off an NBA championship, you always get more attention. So they're going to get more nationally televised games. They're going to get more people watching them, realizing how good of a coach Michael Malone is and how good of a team he has to coach. I think that's just the perfect way to be able to win, snag a Coach of the Year, or even get second like I have him. At number 3, I have another Western Conference guy, and that is Frank Vogel. The reason for this is, obviously, you have this Suns team who have all the talent in the world. They have Book, KD, Beal, Ayton, great role players, got a lot of steals, a slew of steals in free agency. That's tough to say. I think this is a Suns team that has all the tools. They need a coach to pull it together. I think we've seen this with teams who have these great players up top: Kyrie, James Harden, KD, Embiid, Harden, Tobias Harris teams. Embiid, Harden, Tobias, Jimmy Butler, JJ Redick team, right? I think all it takes is a coach. And I think Frank Vogel may very well be that coach for this Phoenix Suns team. I think they're going to perform very well. They're going to have high expectations. They're going to exceed those high expectations. Frank Vogel is going to be able to come in, do his job, make the Suns a great team, and maybe snag a Coach of the Year along the way. Moving on to Most Improved Player, we're at number 1. Maybe a little shocking, going into his 3rd season, I have Jalen Green. And obviously, he has a little help now. Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, both of them are going to shoot whether you like it or not. Sengun, who honorable mention on Most Improved Player for me. Jabari Smith Jr. has gotten a lot better, as we saw in Summer League. I think Jalen Green has a big burden lifted off his shoulders. He can play more loose. He can play without the defense really just focusing on him. Jalen Green has all the tools. I think this is a year he has to put it together. If he doesn't, we're going to be really worried about him. But this is a year. I really believe that this is a year where Jalen Green, we see him average his 20, but instead of shooting 43%, he may average 23, 24, and instead of shooting, that 40, low 40s%, we may see him jump up to 46, 47% with like 36, 37% from 3. We know he can shoot step backs. We know he can drive. Needs to be a little more aggressive when he drives, but I really love Jalen Green. At number 2, I have a little bit of a shocker, I would say. Another guy going into his 3rd year, Scotty Barnes. It was either him here or Josh Giddey. I chose Scotty for the reason of Fred's departing. We don't know what's going to happen with Pascal. And one thing I love about Scotty Barnes and always have is the playmaking. He can really play make. I think he's going to have to take a role there. I think he's going to have to take a bigger scoring role. We know the defense is there. If he can put it all together this year, he has a great chance at Most Improved Player. At 3, I have Mikal Bridges. And the reason I have him at 3, I think he's the betting favorite right now to win it. I just don't see it after the second half he had. If he had gotten traded, this offseason, Suns trade him in the Nets this offseason. We don't really know what to expect. He may just still be a 3-and-D guy. He comes in, he's the star like he was the second half of last year. Now I could see him winning Most Improved, but the way he played the second half of last year, I think that's going to be a little tick off of him, and he's not going to be able to win it, but he's going to be in the voting like you see here at third. Honorable mention, obviously, Şengün. Great in the post, great playmaker. Just love his all-around game. He's really fun to watch. Now we have 3 left, Rookie of the Year, DPOY, and MVP. We'll start with Rookie of the Year, where at number 1, I have a guy who's going to play a key role in a team who I think is going to surprise, and that is Chet Holmgren. Playing a key role in that Thunder's defense and the offense. I mean, this is a team who was rolling out Jalen Williams at center. I think he's 6'8", 6'9". Chet is now a center. The Thunder didn't have a center last year. What Chet can also do is stretch the floor, which the Thunder really didn't have. If you watch the Thunder last year, even though Jay Will, I think he ended up shooting 40% from 3. Even though he shot 40% from 3, he wasn't being guarded. Chet will be being guarded because he can shoot. He can also catch it, attack closeouts. He can play make. He can make plays for himself. He's a fantastic player. That's not even talking about the defensive side of the ball, where I love him. He's one of the best rim protectors already in the game. He hasn't played a game, and I'm saying that. Chet is an all-around great center. Chet, Rookie of the Year. At number 2, I have Scoot. And this may come as a little bit of surprise, but I think playing off of Dame, playing off of Anthony, no matter what happens out there, I could see Anthony getting traded. I could see Dame getting traded. I could see anything happening out in Portland. I think Scoot's going to be a guy that they can rely on no matter what. And he's going to be able to attack the rim, make plays for other teammates, rebound, do his thing. He's a decent defender. He's not great. I think Scoot's going to be a fantastic player for that Portland team. And then at number 3, I have Amen Thompson, who I didn't even mention when I was talking about Jalen Green and the help he has. Amen is just a freak athlete, a great defender, can really run, a fantastic playmaker. He's an all-around tool, all-around player. He's going to be great. I love him at 3. Some honorable mentions I have for Rookie of the Year is Anthony Black, Keyonte George, and Jalen Hood-Schifino. Anthony Black, great playmaker on the Magic. Worries me with all the guards over there. That's kind of the thing that, left him back. Obviously, same problem with Scoot, but I like Scoot a little more. He's obviously a better player. He was picked 2nd to Anthony Black, who was picked 6th, I think. Keyonte George lit it up at Summer League. Can really score. Good playmaker. Maybe get some one chops this year. We'll see what happens. I think he's going to be a good player. I don't think he's going to be able to hoist his name into the Rookie of the Year conversation very often, but that's an honorable mention. The last one is Jalen Hood-Schifino, and y'all may be looking at me like, what are you talking about? Well, I've been I've been the leader of the Jalen Hood-Schifino fan club. I am the leader of it. I'm making it right now. Jalen Hood-Schifino is a guy who can really guard. He's going to be coming off that bench. He may replace Austin Reeves, right? He may take that role. Now, he's not going to be that good to the extent, but he's also on the Lakers. And I think if a rookie comes out, defends the way he can, rolls in the pick and roll the way he can, Jalen Hood-Schifino has a really good chance at Rookie of the Year. For DPOY, at my number 1 spot, I have Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think after losing in the first round to the Heat as the 1 seed, I think he's motivated. I think you have a reason to really want to prove it in the regular season and prove it in the playoffs. But the regular season, the Bucks have always been great. Giannis has always been great. I think this year he wins DPOY, especially with a guy who, in my number 2 spot, Jaren Jackson Jr., for those first 25 games, he's going to have to take a huge offensive role, Ja being out. I think Jaren's going to slide down a little bit. And at 3, I have Rudy Gobert. And this is a guy who, we saw it in Utah, he can run a defense. That Utah team was abysmal outside of Rudy, and he made them great at times defensively. Good all the time, great at times. Obviously you saw the Terrence Mann game. We saw that. But that's just because of the way Utah's defense was. They funneled everything to Rudy. He had to stay in the paint. He couldn't get out. But one thing I know about Rudy, and we know about Rudy, is that he can guard the perimeter. Not like a guard can, but he can for being 7 feet tall. He's got great recovery speed, believe it or not, great recovery speed, great length in recovering. Rudy Gobert is my number 3. He's going to surprise y'all. He's going to come back and be the guy he once was. Moving on to MVP in our last category. At number 1, I have Giannis Antetokounmpo. For all the reasons I just mentioned for DPOY. This is a guy who always comes out in the regular season, always performs. He doesn't miss games. I just love Giannis. I think we all do. He's a great person to watch. Giannis Antetokounmpo winning DPOY obviously helps his case. He's going to be great defensively, great offensively. Give me Giannis. At 2, I have Luka Doncic, and this is weird. I have Luka, SGA, Ant. That's my 2, 3, 4. And the reason for that is I think these are all teams who are on the verge of being in the playoffs, being in the play-in. I think all 3 of these guys are going to have really great years trying to lead their teams to that. Luka is going to be the guy who has the whole team on his shoulders. Obviously, he has Kyrie now. Who was it they picked up? Rashawn Holmes, Derek Lively. I think it's a better team, obviously. Luka's going to have better players around him. It's a prove-it year for Luka, in my opinion, because we haven't seen him do much. We haven't seen him win much. We've seen the Clippers series, and that's it. Luka needs to prove it. This is the year. He is in the running for MVP. At number 3, I have Shea, and you're probably thinking, get off the Thunder. Okay, I got it. But listen, hear me out. Shea is just different. We've seen it in FIBA. He's probably the best player in FIBA this year. He's just fantastic. You're adding Chet, who can stretch the floor for him. Defensively, this guy has become incredible out of nowhere. He's a two-way guy now. And that's not something... Last year I could say it a little bit. This year I think he's a full-on two-way guy. Shea at 3 for MVP. Go average 30 again. Get the assist numbers up. Get the rebound numbers up. The field goal percentage will stay the same. Shea at 3. And then at 4, Anthony Edwards. Obviously, a lot of people expecting him to take a jump. Defensively, he's good. FIBA, he's been good. I think Ant, I worry about him for the reason of Rudy Gobert being in that paint, Cat being in that paint. I worry about that. He's kind of the offense, it feels like, out there. And even though they have good offensive pieces, it feels like Ant is the offense. He's going to have to come out and prove it. He's going to have to come out and carry this Timberwolves team to where they want to go. And if he does, I think he can be in MVP conversation. I don't think Ant can win it. I think the first 3 have a chance. I think the first 2 have the biggest chance. I don't think, Jokic will win it. I don't think Embiid will play enough games, let's be real. But that's my MVP list. That's my awards list. It's kind of tough to put together. I have a lot of guys for a lot of different spots. I also am getting sick, and my head is throbbing, and I can't think straight, but I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope it was decent anyway. And if you did enjoy, leave it a like, subscribe, like I said earlier. I hope y'all enjoyed. I'll see y'all. Peace.